Hello. As Lee said, I'm Vicki Callahan. I've been on 16 ASP trips now, but 15 of those I was just a team member. But this year I was promoted to trip coordinator to fill in for Lee. Very big shoes to fill, but fortunately, Lee and Ray Gucci have been great mentors, role models, and I paid attention to how they ran things for all the years that I was able to attend. Lee asked me if I would take on being the trip coordinator. Lee asked if Rick, my husband, and I would take on being trip coordinators. And I said, sure, told Rick the process, and he said, I haven't paid attention for the last 15 years. So needless to say, I told him what to do. Assuming the role had me a bit nervous, not about the ASP stuff because I'd been plenty of times. I just was nervous about being responsible and overseeing and all the youth. I don't know why. The kids are great every year. Pretty sure it's the Lee factor. I know they respect Lee, love Lee, listen to Lee, and I just wasn't sure what I would get. There was no reason to be nervous. I got the same respect that Lee gets. They were wonderful. The drama, as Lee talked briefly about, had nothing to do with our youth or our adults. We just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Just speak a little bit about our adult leaders. Some were new, some have been several times, all wonderful, eager, willing to do whatever, and listened to me all week long. Young adults, we had quite a few young adults with us this year, and it assured me that we have great ASP leaders for years to come. Back to the kids. Phenomenal, kind, caring, funny, supportive, just to name a few. ASP itself offers me an opportunity every year to disconnect from the real world, in essence. My favorite verse kind of wraps up my ASP experience every year, Psalms 46:10, "Be still and know that I am God." So, despite ASP's ups and downs, as Fran mentioned, and the drama that we shared a little bit about, it still is a very still week for me and a great opportunity. I want to thank you all for that opportunity and for everything that you do to help us all get there. We all truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support.
Hi, my name is Kate Edwards, and I'm an upcoming junior at Severna Park High School. This year was my second year going on ASP, and my crew worked on a bathroom remodel, and we were supposed to do a kitchen renovation for our homeowner, Miss Joyce. Once we got there on Monday, we realized we can't work in the kitchen due to asbestos, and we'd have to stick to working in the bathroom and alongside the double crew outside. While working in Miss Joyce's house, we learned she was a loving woman who raised a daughter with cerebral palsy and other adopted children despite her traumatic past. Getting to know Miss Joyce was the highlight of my trip. Sometimes it would be good morning or just a smile as we passed her out on the new porch, but other times it was long conversations about her life and projects. As we talked, she exclaimed this new working bathroom was a dream come true for her. After thinking about my dreams and what I have taken for granted, I learned to be more grateful. My expectation at home was Miss Joyce's dream come true, and with that being said, ASP and the opportunity to serve someone so loving and kind is another thing to always be grateful for.
Good morning. If you looked over in the narthex, I was frantically typing this a few minutes ago. I did have a quick message, especially for those that you had the wrong loaf here today. Katie says, tell everybody that I'm sorry I couldn't be there. The tropical storm had a tornado spin up 15 miles away from my house. So with all that being said, she did not feel comfortable driving up here this weekend. But she says she misses all of you. She appreciates everything that the church has done, and she hopes that she can come back next year. So, with that being said, my dad once told me that his goal as a dad was to give all of his kids the fruits of the Spirit. And if you need a quick review from Galatians 5:22-23, they are love, joy, peace, self-control, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and patience. My dad did a great job raising 5 kids, but during this week I learned that I need to work on that last part. I did well with it until I saw how well our youth did dealing with the adversity that comes with being on a mission trip. First day, I frantically started looking for fans when our room's air conditioning wasn't running. Robbie Hoffey simply walked over, looked, and turned a knob, and the unit started working. When I was busy searching for tools in the morning, getting flustered, multiple youth would center me back in the right headspace and ask me, "Are you ready for the booty call?" And time again, when something on the job site wasn't plumb, wasn't cut right, or when we had to move almost a dozen posts that were 2 feet deep in East Kentucky mud and we had to redo it, they simply said, "Yeah, that's cool." And if you don't know this about Kate Edwards over there, she is a whiz with a post digger and a shovel. And if you need anything done around your house, she's a girl. She has a hammer to prove it. Wish you would have brought it today. These revelations have been in my head for a while, and this is yet another situation that involves patience. On day 1, we were driving back to our job site, and as the car came around a corner, a coal truck was also coming around that same corner, and a lump of coal about the size of a golf ball hit the windshield and almost shattered it. So I had to drive 2 hours further west in Kentucky, get it replaced over the course of an hour, and then drive back 2 hours. So while I was on my way back with little radio signal, I had 30 minutes of silence to think about all that had happened during the week. And during that time, I had the revelation that I was grateful for all these kids and these adults that showed me that I have faults, and that being around them inspires me to be a better person. Especially an adult and a man that is more patient through adversity. I would like to thank you, church, for making this trip possible. Thank you, Lee, for giving me another opportunity to inspire the next generation of youth. But most importantly, thank you to the youth of this church for showing me that I'm just a man who has a lot left to learn on how to be a good man. Thank you all.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Caitlin Hoffey, and I will be a rising junior at Hood College in Frederick, Maryland. Today, I'm going to share with you my testimony. If I could use one word to describe my ASP trip, I would use the word joist. For those of you who do not know, just as I didn't know before working with construction, the definition of a joist is a long supporting part of the structure of a building. The ASP 2024 mission trip was the first time I participated in the Appalachia Service Project. I didn't have any expectations other than learning how to build parts of a house, but I ended up leaving Kentucky with a lot more than just that. Today, I want to talk about how thankful and blessed I am for my Severna Park United Methodist Church. Just the energy we brought every day, how inviting and involved everyone was, and the patience of those crew leaders were unbelievable. My crew leader this year, Steve Collier, is easily one of the most patient people I have ever met. I think it was on the very first day, they call it Mosey Monday, was when we measured and cut a joist plank at least 5 different times until we got it right. And each time it didn't fit, our crew would remove it, Steve would shave the smallest bit off, and we would try again. I was amazed how calm we worked when we would encounter several obstacles, like so. When we were about to arrive at the center that we were supposed to stay at, I was told by a few members of our church that sometimes our presence as a church comes off a little overwhelming. I thought to myself, we're just a church traveling to serve others. How could we possibly be overwhelming? Well, maybe it was when we showed up to the facility in all matching pink shirts, made up about half the helpers there, and even prepared an introduction song to sing to the other congregations, was when I kind of got the hint of our large presence. What can we say? It's year 42 of our church participating in ASP, and we know how to make it enjoyable and memorable. The last thing I want to talk about is how inviting each and every member from our church was, especially to my family, as it was all of our first times going. I only knew but a few familiar faces going into this trip and came back as one big family. There was a car that drove past us during our picnic at Kingdom Come Park that yelled, "Happy Family Reunion!" And at that moment, I looked around and thought, yeah, we are one big happy family. We were able to overcome several adversities during this trip together and make many friendships. So yes, if I had one word to describe my ASP experience, it would be the word joist, because each member here plays an essential role in supporting the faith that uplifts the core of our Severna Park United Methodist Church. I found this Bible verse in the book of James, chapter 2, verses 14 through 17, that I believe is a good representation of the work we did that week. It says, "What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such faith save them? Suppose a brother or sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says to them, 'Go in peace, keep warm and well fed,' but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is it? In the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead." By serving those in need, we demonstrate our commitment to God's values and show compassion to those who are less fortunate. I wanted to share my wonderful ASP experience with you all today to encourage us to continue to serve others and to remember how fortunate we are. I am proud to be a member of this church, and thank you to everyone here for being a joist in my life.